I'm gonna open one of these right here. Oh yeah, it's nice. You know, when you run out of Echelon energy drinks, these will do. But you have to drink 2 to get the caffeine of Echelon, which is kind of a bummer because that's double the carbonations and all of that. Hope y'all are doing good on this beautiful rainy where I'm at. But we need the rain because, to be honest with you, we just had evacuations in our county just the other day for wildfire alerts. And when they do wildfires out here, boy, it's wild as hell. And we're really lucky that where I live, none of that shit has touched us. Big shout out to all the wildlife forest fighters. So, you know, it's okay that we're getting some rain here. It's all good. It's fun to just sit in the stew and cook up with y'all. I love y'all. It's cool to kick it with you. So I just saw this. Somebody actually, I want to thank whoever it was. I forget because there's so many people saying so much stuff. And I apologize about that. But somebody let me know in the comments last night that they actually dropped the video of the Carmelo Anthony incident. If you guys remember the whole Carmelo Anthony thing, well, you know, why don't we just do a refresher? I think the news will say pretty much what needs to be said on this. And then, you know, we'll have a little recap of our own. But for right now, let's jump in here and catch this refresher about what happened because, you know, it's been a minute.
A 17-year-old suspect accused in a deadly stabbing will graduate from high school. Carmelo Anthony is charged with the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Police say they got into an argument at a track meet last month, which ended with Anthony stabbing Metcalf. An advocacy group says Anthony completed his credits, allowing him to receive his diploma from Frisco ISD. But Anthony remains under house arrest and cannot participate in any senior activities. Frisco ISD just released a statement reinforcing that no student who commits a serious criminal offense is permitted to participate in the graduation ceremony.
So basically what
the Frisco Memorial High School community gathered tonight.
Nobody asked you. Sorry, guys. So basically what we got from that was just a quick overview. There's a lot of other elements. I know you guys probably remember that there was a whole, it wasn't a GoFundMe. It was a Give, Send, Go, where they raised $500,000 for this dude who stabbed another dude to death. And there was a lot of racial tensions. Everybody wanted to make it a big race thing because it was a black dude who killed a white dude, even though they were just kids at a high school event. Now, I did a whole rundown of the whole situation and the scenario from what is in the police reports. And from what is in the police reports and what is from the eyewitness statements, because they got eyewitness statements from, I think it was 11 people. It's been a month or two. Don't quote me on that. I read all of those, and then I did all of the research that I need to do to know about Texas self-defense laws. And I gave my personal synopsis. There's no way he's going to get self-defense on this. But now, and the police have had this whole, the police have had these this video that they have just released to the public, kind of released to the public. They've had this the whole time. So we're going to take a look and investigate what that says. Jacob Fowler, big love and respect to you, man. I appreciate you. Jacob said, donate to whatever y'all prefer. And yeah, man, like it's your money. If you want to give money to Carmelo Anthony, if you want to give money to Austin Metcalf's family, if you want to give money to the chick who called a 10-year-old kid the N-word a bunch, like these are all big GoFundMes or Give, Send, Goes that got a lot of money for people. Like it seemed like for a minute, it was really popular to just give people who did terrible shit money. And it's your money, bro. You know what I'm saying? Arzang said, Carmelo, why? He didn't do anything to merit a knife. And remember when everybody was arguing that it wasn't a knife, it was a cleat sharpener until the idiots realized there's no such thing as a damn cleat sharpener? Yeah, that was pretty wild. So I want to jump into another video, and we're going to just sort of check it out. I haven't watched a whole lot of this guy's stuff. He seems fairly popular. He's got like a lot of followers. And he is an ex-cop. And so when I saw his video and I saw that he was doing this and he is an ex-cop, I figured maybe this dude would have some good insights into this, but we're going to check this out. He might have some law enforcement insights, and we're gonna watch this video right now. This dude is the Officer Tatum. I do know that this dude has a very large following, and we're gonna check out what this dude has to say about it, him being former law enforcement. And let's go. Let's get into this.
So breaking news, and I think to a certain degree, is going viral online, and is that Carmelo Anthony's track meet footage has been released, but only to a certain group of people. And they articulate what they saw in the video. Roll the clip.
So I do want to clarify, it's not to a certain group of people. That's a really sketchy way of saying it. If you put in for a FOIA request, that's a Freedom of Information Act request, the same way that you would get like anybody's criminal shit. If it's a court document and it doesn't involve minor victims, you can get that stuff by putting in a Freedom of Information Act, and that's federal. So that goes everywhere. Federal cases, state cases. So if you put in a FOIA act in Texas, you can go into the courthouse. They've made special stipulations that you can go into the courthouse and see this video, but you can't take any video of it. So that's why it's not released to the public, but you can, if you live in Texas and you want to go down to that county courthouse, you definitely can put in the proper form and go in and view it. And so what we're going to be reviewing here is we're going to be hearing what other people have said about it. Super Korean said, hey, instead of donating to people's legal funds, just give it to me. I'll use it for additional range time. Hell yeah, my dude. That's what I'm talking. God, I want to go to a range so bad, man. So some people are fans of Officer Tatum. Some people are not fans of Officer Tatum. Some people are saying Tatum was a dirty cop, guaranteed. Did he cavity search you? Do you want him to? Some people are saying that he was a cop. Where was that? In Tucson, Arizona. He's very cool and a very fair dude. Okay, so let's check it out. I was talking with some of my buddies from the Unsubscribed podcast today because they're out in Texas. And you know how they have them glasses that have cameras, but you can't really tell it's a camera? I was thinking I might go out to Texas and sneak in there and do some super spy shit. And I was told that's super illegal. And I don't break laws anymore. So I'm not going to do it. But let's check out what Officer Tatum has here.
Frisco ISD is releasing surveillance video of the stabbing at the track meet that led to the death of a student back in April, but only under very strict conditions. So through open records, they will allow whoever requests it to view that video, but no recording whatsoever is allowed.
Whoever requests it. And the legal form that you would need to fill out is a FOIA Act request. Street Shades Tree Shenanigans said, hey, JD, Lily Tino posted a video on TikTok mocking the mother and child from the bathroom selfies at Disneyland. Well, actually, I got to correct you on one thing. I haven't seen her video, but those pictures were taken in Disney World. And why that's important is because Disney World is in the free state of Florida. Disneyland is in the demented state of California, where dudes can walk around with their dicks out and wave them in 5-year-old kids' faces. And that's freedom of expression. In Florida, they don't put up with none of that shit. I would love to see her charged. I would love to and not Lily Tino, Nick Cantino. I would love to see Nick Cantino, him charged, stuffed, cuffed, put into a Florida fucking prison, where I believe dude would be passed around like a fucking blunt backstage at a Snoop Dogg concert, bro. Just another one. Thank you. I'm going to have to check that out. So to be honest with you guys, not a little bad news. My 1.7 million follower TikTok, my main page, was banned because I talked about putting one too many pedophiles into wood chippers. And that's okay. This is the 4th time that account has been banned, and I've gotten it back every time. I don't know whether I'll get it back or not. I still have my backup account with 600,000. And that account has been banned before as well, and I still got it back. But they will never stop me. I will never change up. I will never fold under the pressure of them taking my account away. and not talk about the shit that is important to me to talk about. If I get IP banned, face banned, whatever the fuck banned that TikTok has, that's fine. If YouTube bans me for talking about keeping kids safe and fighting pedophiles, that's fine. There are other platforms I can go to, and I will stay on course and on path with what my conscience tells me is important for me to talk about until the bitter fucking end. You will have to drag my last fucking breath from my body to shut me the fuck up. You're not going to be able to censor me. I could take it to Patreon. I could take it to Pepperbox. And I would do those things before I would start throwing softballs and pitching curves and not shooting straight when it comes about fucking people that fucking hurt kids. And that's just me. But I will check that out on my backup account. My backup account, my whole algorithm is fucked up. It's all dogs because that's the one that I watch for leisure. And I love dog videos. It's all French bulldogs and Boston Terriers because those are our dogs, and I'm big, stupid, dumb. There's a lot of golden retrievers too because Jaxie loves golden retrievers. Oh, by the way, Jax, say hi. Hi. Pisces Gal, thank you so much. Big Irish in the chat. Love you. Brickhouse said, mad respect, bro. I've watched you for the last year and love your content, homie. Wish you all the best. I love you, and I wish you all the best too, Brickhouse. Super Korean said, are you going to ever reach out to Tectone for help in getting started with multi-streaming? I know how to multi-stream. I just really am particular about the fact that I love this community, and I don't want to have to cater to multiple chats. I want to be able to focus on you guys. You guys are like, this is my shit. I love it here with you guys. My YouTube community is like my family, and I don't want, when I'm doing streams, I don't want to have to like, okay, I got to answer this question from this and that and this and that. Like, you guys are my people. I prioritize you guys. We built this shit together. This is our community, dog. But I love Tectone. Alpha Dragon Gaming, what's up, homie? Yo, JD, what is up, my guy? Sorry to hear about your TikTok account. That shit sucks, especially on the pedo shit. Shows you where their priorities are. Anyways, keep up the good fight. Homie, I love you, brother. And like, I wasn't even shocked. It came out of nowhere because I haven't had a single violation, right? Not a single fucking violation in months. I had like one and I beat it. As soon as I pressed appeal, 30 seconds later, it was like, yeah, no, you're right. We were wrong. So I haven't had any community guidelines violations over there. And all of a sudden I just wake up and that bitch is just like, you're permanently banned. But it's the fourth time it's happened to me, bro. So I'm not ever shocked. I don't think any TikTok account is ever fucking secure. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is over there, man. They don't stand on business. They have some of the worst content moderation ever. I literally see videos of dudes with their dicks out and they don't get banned. I see people on there saying fucking horrific slurs and they don't get banned. But I talk against people who literally fuck kids and I get banned over and over and over again, dog. And I'll stay doing it. I ain't learned my motherfucking lesson yet, dog. I'm going to keep on it. And I love you guys.
On that note, we sent our IT producer, Kelsey Mittauer, to watch that video. She joins us now in studio to walk us through what you saw. We're going to go in order here in just a second, Kelsey. But in general terms, what did the video depict? What did you see?
It shows everything from the moments leading up to the stabbing to the medical response to then the beginning of the police investigation.
Okay, and it lasted several minutes is what they showed.
It did, about 30 minutes.
Okay, so let's start in the beginning now and talk a little bit about what you saw at the front end of that video, because you got to see the attack, the actual stabbing took place.
So I started watching about 9:53. The camera shows half of the field. So it's about from the 50-yard line on, and the tent where it happened was.
So that's way far back view. Like, if that's a way far back view right there, I don't know how how much detail they're actually going to have from this video, to be honest with you guys.
Kind of right in front of the 50-yard line, but the camera is down here.
Okay.
It's positioned across the field. So everybody in the video, you can tell there are kids or adults, but no one's identifiable.
So a long shot is what
a long shot, yeah.
So a couple minutes in, and you actually see the altercation take place.
Yes, everything leading up to it, everyone's milling about. It seems very normal. And then right at 9:55, that's when like there's this explosive movement or action between two people under the tent. And that's when the employees in the room told me that's when the stabbing happened at 9:55.
Right.
So can we get any type of details? There's explosive activity and we're not, can you elaborate for us, girl? You know why we're here. You know what we came to hear.
Right. And you were talking about people kind of start to scatter at that moment. Obviously, something went wrong. And so what happens next? Because now, a little bit later on, that's when the ambulance shows up.
Right. So when the ambulance arrives, it actually comes through near the end zone at the gate, and then it comes up to the 50-yard line directly in front of the tent. You can see Austin Metcalf is right here. But then when they pull up close to the tent, they realize that they can't get the stretcher to him because of the barrier of the bleachers. So at that point, then the paramedics have to get out, and then they have to walk all the way back to the end zone. This is actually, yeah, in the next slide. They have to go all the way back to the end zone and then come all the way back. That takes another couple of minutes. So at this point, they've arrived and they are actively working on Metcalf at that point.
And we want to reiterate, we're using some imagery here to...
I'm frustrated. I'm not going to lie, you guys. This is not the shit we want to hear about. We don't need to hear about the fucking ambulance. Is there anybody here who needs to hear about the particulars of how the ambulance was able to gain access? Or do you want to hear what happened leading up to that knife going into Austin Metcalf's chest? Because that's what the fuck I want to hear about. This is frustrating to me. Valerican said, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Been watching your content since I retired from active military a few years ago. Aloha from Springfield, Oregon. What's up, neighbor? How you doing? Big love. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Keep up the great work, brother. I appreciate you so much, homie. I hope I see you out one of these days and I get to give you a big ass hug, man. Thank you for everything that you've done for our country. I love you, neighbor.
Sort of denote exactly what was happening
Right.
here, these little icons that were using the ambulance, because again, the video was not able to be released. You're
No one
watching
cares
all
about
of
your
this
icons.
happen, Kelsey, and you're watching the time sort of elapse. What are you thinking about when you see this, especially when you see sort of the issues in getting Metcalf out of there?
I mean, you know, I understand why it happened the way it happened. They were still working on him, actually. The thing that really struck me is they're working on him, and that's when you see the rain's coming down heavier, and then they actually pull out the blue tarp.
The blue tarp that we saw.
Right, and then I noticed the crime scene tape is already up. I was so focused.
Yeah, so the blue tarp, they had to cover where they found the knife. And it says it. So there, remember when we were talking a minute ago about all the idiots who said it was a cleat sharpener. He didn't bring a knife. He had a cleat sharpener. Bitch, it says knife 8 separate times in the police report. You Neanderthal motherfuckers, bro. Like, learn to read. You weren't there. I'm pretty sure that officers understand the difference between a knife and a cleat sharpener, which doesn't exist. There's no such fucking thing as a cleat sharpener. So that would be a big fat nothing. Did they cover nothing with the tarp to preserve the evidence? You fucking morons. It's crazy to me, bro. Alpha Dragon Gaming said, I got a couple warnings on TikTok because I said that someone's comment was stupid as fuck. Exactly like that. And it was in reply to someone being vile. Facts. And dude, like, I have people that will say horrific shit to me. And if I say anything back, I am the one who gets a comment violation. So I stopped commenting as much on TikTok because even if I'm encouraging and supportive of people, half the time they'll say, oh, violation. I hit appeal and it'll take like a couple hours and they'll be like, yeah, you were right. You were actually being super cool and supportive, like telling people, congratulations on your recovery, homie. We're all in this together. And they're like, comment violation. Like, I'm sorry, but your algorithm is dumb. Big dumb, bro. I don't understand it. And one thing that I do think is crazy, though, is they have all this content moderation as far as comments. I'll go into like my blocked comments on videos, and anytime anybody says wood chipper, they put it in the filtered out comments. And I know when I started social media, they weren't doing that shit. But after a few years of me screaming wood chipper, they started censoring people saying wood chipper on TikTok. And I don't know that I'm entirely responsible for that, but I'm entirely responsible for that. Mwah! I love it.
Focused on here, I didn't even see that, but they're building the crime scene actively around him as they're continuing to work on him in the bleachers.
So that was happening while he was
let's
still
talk
there.
about this. Let's talk about this real quick. I think it's time for me to interject and get some things established.
Please do, because they're boring.
So with the video footage that have been articulated, it sounds consistent. Now, she's not saying a lot. The video footage doesn't seem like it's the end all be all. I'm pretty sure witness statements are going to be more pertinent than a grainy video footage. But what I think it will show, that's going to be a very big burden for the defense, is that they're going to have to show through the video evidence that there was an altercation. Because if there is a lack thereof an altercation, it's going to make Carmelo Anthony look bad. Because if you see people fighting an altercation and then right around that time you see a stabbing, then that could be different. But it appears that people who allegedly saw this video, because I can't verify if they saw it or not, I believe they wouldn't get on the news and lie because they'll get sued, the Sox will get sued off, that they're saying that it does not appear to be a brawl or it does not appear to be a mob attack against Carmelo Anthony, and therefore his self-defense claim does not seem prevalent.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing? You think he's
Metcalf ass. Well, no, that boy going
Carmelo
to jail.
Anthony's going to go to
Yeah.
jail.
Carmelo going to jail. Because this, listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
So you can't say I was
What if he says, but what if he says self-defense? Like,
There's no self-defense, because if you are afraid the day before where you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody you tell the teacher, let the teachers know, so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So where's the documentation to say this is self-defense? It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear.
Bro, even the dude who admittedly pepper sprays cats for fun and talks openly in public on video about gang raping a woman understands the simple legal concepts at play in this. Even this dude, who I can't stand, I used to think he was funny as shit. And then I saw the videos he made talking about pepper spraying cats. And somebody in this community was like, did you see the video where he's talking about gang raping that chick with a bunch of other dudes while she's passed out? And I was like, no, the fuck? And I went and looked and I'm like, I'm now a certified hater. If there is no one else on the face of the planet that hates Charleston White, bitch, I'm still here, because I've just, but the shit that I've heard slide out of his mouth about fucking up cats and gang raping a woman, I hate him. But even his dumbass understands the simple, basic concepts that are going to come into play in that courtroom. Carmelo Anthony is cooked the fuck out. Awesome Jake, sorry I'm late, bro. What did I miss, man? We're just talking about the review of the tape of what happened when Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf to death. And I don't need to say allegedly or any of that type of dumbass shit, because he admitted it multiple times. I've read every single word in the paperwork, the police report, the witness statements. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and anybody who doesn't know about the Charleston White stuff, you can totally look those clips up. It's absolutely foul and fucking disgusting, man. It's foul and disgusting.
Anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it's at a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail. You got to go. There's no, so when is it all right to kill the bully? I don't give a fuck what the bully did. He don't have a right to die.
No.
Man, you weak man. That's why I say teach the kids how to deal with bullies and this won't happen. We're all not equal. Even in nature, you can be feeding a flock of birds. There's going to always be one bird to come in and take the food from the. This is nature. Yeah. You cannot get rid of bullies. Teach the kids how to deal with them. Bullies build character. You go to work, it's going to be a bully supervisor, a bully co-worker. You cannot get rid of the bully. Teach our children conflict resolution. Everything don't have to end in violence. But when you come from the black culture, everything is disputed in violence.
Yeah, that is the problem, though. That's how you.
It's the culture.
That's the culture. Is that?
No, we're not doing that N-word shit, bro. Hillbilly, Harry, we're not doing that. We're gonna remove that comment. Please, nobody do any stupid ass racist shit. That's not what this is about. We're not about racism here, bro. I only believe in one race. I believe in the human race. And we're not doing none of that shit here, bro. Everybody is welcome here. Everybody is loved here. The only people that aren't loved or welcome here is fucking pedophiles, my G. That's all we got, bro. Please don't do that in the comments here. I would like you to be able to stay and everything, but I will all the way hide your ass and you won't be able to comment ever again if you're throwing slurs or doing rapist shit, man. Racist shit or rapist shit. I may have misspoke, but it's equally as important. Blue-eyed devil, the truth will come out. Big facts, my man, big facts.
That's how they solve. When you have a serious issue, they don't even contemplate trying to talk it out.
We teach a no snitching rule, right? So our kids are walking around with these mafia rules, codes, and ethics of the streets that's held over children about no snitching. So now I have to take a weapon because I don't want to be a snitch and kill another kid. Oh, it's a simple solution. Don't tell the teacher. Tell your parents.
Now, when it comes...
Well, and so, like, legally speaking, if Carmelo Anthony, the person who admittedly killed Austin Metcalf, if he was telling the truth and Austin put his hand on him, he did legally in the state of Texas have the right to punch him. He did not have the right to stab him. He did not have the right to use a weapon. In the state of Texas, it's a stand your ground state. And so you don't have to run, but the violence has to be proportional. And for you to have used deadly force, you have to be able to reasonably and justifiably think that your life is in danger. So with what Carmelo Anthony himself said, he said he put his hand on me. If somebody puts their hand on you, don't go stabbing them. Don't go trying to kill them. Use equal or reasonable force. And that is in Texas, you guys. Do not do this in other states. The bluer the state, the less of a right that you have legally to be able to defend yourself. If somebody puts their hand on me in Oregon and I clap them a good one, I'm going to prison for 70 months, day for day, no good time, no earned time. So do you notice the the huge difference in legal parameters for what you can do between Texas and Florida is very similar. There are other states where it's really similar that have stand your ground laws and states that don't. It's important to know what the self-defense laws are in your state, even if you're not looking for trouble. I don't believe that Austin Metcalf went to school that day thinking that he was going to get in any trouble or he was going to get in a fight. I don't believe that. I just don't think that he was. I think that Carmelo Anthony might have had that in the back of his mind and he thought he knew the law. But he done fucked up because he had a very rudimentary, not accurate idea of what the laws were in his state. So it's important that you know what the laws are, because if somebody comes and attacks you, Big Zane has it right. Response has to be proportional to the attack. Fists don't equal knives. Caligula, facts. And Quibbly Danger, can we ban people who eat their steaks well done? I mean, that's just more medium for me, bro. And more medium rare for my kid Graves. So there's nothing wrong with Irma said there's nothing wrong with carrying your tool. The problem is pulling it out on some bitch shit. Well, and it also depends on where you're at, because at schools, Most places, schools, you're not allowed to have a knife on you. So if you have that knife on you and you get caught with it, there's going to be consequences. If you use it, there's going to be even bigger consequences. Carmelo Anthony is going to prison. I don't care how you feel about that. I've read this police report. I don't see any way out of this for that dude. I think he is going to fucking prison. I would bet money that he goes to fucking prison. He did every single thing he could wrong, all the way across the board. And that's my take on this. Let's see what Officer Tatum has to say.
Comes to the ambulance working on somebody, I would argue that a medical personnel jumped up into the stands and began CPR as they get the stretcher to come around and get Austin Metcalf. Also, the reason that they put crime scene tape up is because they probably knew that Austin Metcalf had already died. Like, this is one thing I think people have to understand, because there's legitimate protocol that you have to do. Although, do you know that there's an end result? Like, for instance, you don't stop doing CPR on somebody just because they die, if that makes sense, right? Until you can get them to a medical facility.
I think Quibbly, I'm sorry, I think Jax accidentally hid you.
Yeah, because I went to hide the same
I went to,
at the same time.
Yeah.
You can't mod while I'm modding, sweetie. Just stick to
Sorry, baby. I messed that up. Quibbly, I just wanted to let you know that was an accident. I watched that go down in real time, and you didn't do anything wrong. We love you, homie. Sorry about that, Bubba.
Facility where they could possibly be reassessed, and there could be life-saving measures. If a person is completely dead and they're ruled dead at the scene and there's absolutely nothing you can do to save them, then they will leave the body at the scene, tarp the body, and create crime scene tape. The medical staff will leave, and the coroner will come and get the body later after they process the scene and recreate the scene and everything else. But in a situation like Austin Metcalf, him being a young man, just because he goes unconscious or his heart stopped beating doesn't mean that they're not going to continue to do CPR on him, and does not mean that they're not going to try to transport him to see if they can save his life at the hospital. Therefore, it would be reasonable that he had already died at the track. He probably went unconscious. His heart stopped beating because he got stabbed in the heart, and he was completely dead. He died in his brother's arms. He was laying there. But they're not going to just let him. They're going to try to do some form of CPR on him until they can assess the issue at a hospital.
So Irish Bomb Squad, what's up, homeboy? He said, I know that if it was Oregon, had it been 2-on-1 situation, that you would go to jail. I got to rob too just because someone else was there. I think it's situational, my G. Like, I totally hear what you're saying, and I'm not invalidating what you're saying at all, but there are circumstances in which that switches up. I knew a dude at Snake River who was doing 90 months. He got jumped by 3 dudes. He was literally on leave from the military, visiting his family, and he was walking around Portland because he was smoking a blunt, bro. And he was on leave, and 3 dudes jumped him, and one of them had a knife. He got a hold of that knife, and he stabbed the fuck out of all 3 of those dudes. Now, all 3 of those dudes ended up going to prison, but so did he. And he was sitting there, and I'm like, we trained you, bro. You were trained to do that, and you were defending yourself. And you did a great job. And he's like, yeah, now I'm sitting here for 90 months. So Quibbly said, it's all good, brother. When are you going on Indian again? Hide and seek special with Donut. I cannot wait to go back on the unsub. Right now, they've got a lot going on. I've got a lot going on. I did just join Bunker Branding Clothing. So I'm not doing Convict Clothing anymore. All of my merch is now on Bunker Branding Clothing. So we do have that going on. We've got some special collabs that we're in talks about. I'm also talking with Angry Cops about some things. So there's going to be some cool stuff coming up really soon, man. Mobstopper said, and I love you, Mobstopper. Never thought I'd make it to 32. Here I am, sober and have a family. God has truly blessed me. Bro, I never thought I was going to make it past 23. And then I got to 24, and I'm like, well, I'm definitely going to be part of this 27 club. And I turned 28 years old on D Block in OSP. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm boring and old now. And now I'm in my mid 40s, and I'm like, this is the best years of my life, bro. I'm so blessed, and I'm so glad that I made it, and I'm glad you're here with us. I love you. Texas self-defense is very simple. Texas Penal Code 9.32. In defense of yourself, you have to be preventing one of 6 crimes against you. Okay. And Rob Doherty said medical staff stays on scene until coroner shows up, or that's how we did it in the 80s and 90s. I believe it, bro. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Officer Tatum was saying, that they keep trying even though somebody's, you know what I'm saying, obviously gone.
So the reason why they may have been putting up the crime scene tape and putting the tarp over, because they pretty much knew he was dead, and they want to prepare for a murder scene, and they had to go through the rigmarole of, you know, trying to save him and putting him in the ambulance and pronouncing him dead at the hospital. So just so you guys know, because it does seem to be odd that they did all this and all that, and they put the tarp up and everything, but the kid is still kind of alive. It's like, no, I have been to cases and scenes like that before where we got to do our due diligence and try to do the best that we can, but we do know the person is gone, and there's probably no way of saving a person, right? Like, for instance, I had a guy who it was a drug deal gone bad, which we found out later on. It was the most mysterious scene I've ever seen in my life because we had no idea why we were seeing what we were seeing. And I'll just give you a quick rundown. Maybe you can put me full screen. I'll just give you a quick rundown because I think it's pertinent, and some of y'all may find this interesting. This is the wild.
I want to stop real quick. Our brother Angelino said, off topic, but I can really use prayers and positive vibes right now. Going through a lot of bad stuff right now. Brother, you will be in our prayers. We love you. You might be going through bad stuff, but you're not going through it alone. You've got a whole community that stands here with you. You've got me and Jax. You've got a bunch of people in the chat. You are loved, bro, and you are going to get through this. And we will be here with you every step of the way.
Wildest call I've ever been on in my life. So what happened on this call was that we got a report of a man walking down the street with a gun. And so in Arizona, you can carry a gun if you want to. So it's like, what's the harm in that? We'll go check it out and see what's going on. But then when we get a little closer to the scene, and this is in a community where they don't call the police. They call it the village. It's a bunch of Native American people, and they hate the police. So they never call. I don't care if you died, they won't call. So the fact that somebody called a man walking down the street with a gun was suspicious a little bit. So we went to respond. And then they said the man is now parked in a car in the front of our house with a gun in his hand, with a gun. And so now he's a threat to the public. Everything goes off. We got 100 cops flying to the scene. We getting out with AR-15s. We going up. We see the truck with all the doors open. And then when we get to the truck, we clear the truck, right? And then we clear the area. Nothing is going on. The people in the house haven't come out. Nobody knows what's going on. We're like, how's this truck just sitting here? And then we noticed the guy in the front seat had got shot in the head, and he was literally coagulated blood. He had been sitting there for a period of time. So they didn't even call when he got shot and killed. So then that's when the crazy stuff happened. We couldn't rescue him. We had to use a dog leash to try to get him. He had blood all over his body. He slipped out of all his clothes, blood all over my shoes, brain matter on my face because I had to throw him on the gurney, which was an impossibility. Only by the grace of God I can get him up there because he was about 250, 280 pounds. The firefighters, they parked down the street, but they run the gurney. We had to go get the gurney and run it up a half a block because they can't enter into an active crime scene or like an active scene. So we didn't know how to lower the gurney. So the gurney is like about 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall, maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. And this guy is covered in blood, so we can't grab him. I can't grab his body because it's slippery. We're using a dog leash because one of the K9 unit guys came and helped. And the only way we can get him is try to wrap his upper body in dog leash and pick his body up and throw him on the thing. Well, you can only imagine that nobody could do it but me. And the guy weighs like 280 pounds. So only by the grace of God, I could lift his body up just enough to get him under my knee. And I flipped him up on the gurney. But when I flipped him up, his head went forward and went back like this. But when his head went forward, some of his brain matter hit me in the face and blood got on like around my mouth. It was disgusting. Some of it got on my badge and it was terrible. Ugh. But anyway, saying all this to say, he was pretty much dead, right? He had lost.
Yeah, he had brain matter everywhere, but he was pretty much dead. I like this guy. Okay, I like this guy. That shit's lit, bro. Dominar said, Angelo, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option. Bob Marley. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone in this community that's in this chat, giving support to Angelo. I see you. I love you. That is why I'm so proud of the community that all of us have built and each and every one of you in it, man. Jonathan KJ, recently subbed to your channel. Did you hear about RJ May, the scumbag senator that did a video about the guy got arrested 6 days ago and is currently sitting in jail on child charges? I did, man. Fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. All the way, bro. That dude is a nasty bastard, bro. all that child shit he was into, fuck that dude, bro.
Lost a third of his brain matter because he got shot in the side of the head, and some of his brains was on the back seat, and so it was clear that he was dead, but we still had to do everything we can to try to save his life. So we did all that. Then we had to run a half a block with the gurney, with him halfway on the gurney, because I couldn't get him all the way on the gurney. I just got his upper body on the gurney. So we running with the gurney. His legs are hanging off the gurney. His upper body's on the gurney. I'm holding him. We still don't know who shot him and where the shooters are at. And we run him down there to the fire department. I remember it was something I did that was very insensitive, but I didn't mean to do it. I had blood all on my face and some brain matter parts. And I was worried about blood getting in my mouth because I don't know if the guy have hepatitis or AIDS and I just remember getting that.
One thing you learn when you go to prison is that it's not as much the HIV that you need to worry about. It's that hep, bro. Hep is way more contagious. So AIDS dies like within a very short time period after being out of your body. Hepatitis can literally dry to shit, get wet, and be reactivated. So if you leave if somebody bleeds on a sink and you don't really see little tiny particles of blood and you put your wet razor on the sink, there's a possibility. It's not huge, but you could end up getting hepatitis through that. Hepatitis scares the shit out of me. And hepatitis does more damage to you these days than the AIDS does unless you get it taken care of. Mob True Crime, what's up, brother? Salute JD DeLay and salute my brother Jason Conley and the others in FCI Sheridan. Stay strong, bros. Wood chipper life. Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you. Huge love to you and all the homies sitting down, doing their time, hoping they get out and become community leaders and do good shit, man. DK was addicted to cocaine in my younger years, but I'm here in my mid-30s. No idea how I didn't end up with a criminal record, so I'm definitely blessed. Man, you know what? And you are 100% lucky that you didn't end up with a criminal record, bro. Like, I wasn't out doing crimes like I was doing crimes till they caught me up on just a stupid, simple possession charge. And then they gave me that felony, and they're like, yeah, you're a felon for the rest of your life. And I was like, well, shit, it don't matter if I got 1 or 2 or 3 or 58 where I'm sitting now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm mad proud of you for getting out before you got a criminal record, brother. Quimbley Danger, what's everybody's favorite wood chipper? Yes. Let me know in the chat, you guys.
And I'm like, my face, like somebody like wiped my face off. And they were like, can you wait? And we're kind of busy here. Like, we try to save this guy's life. He got shot in the head. And then, after that, I realized that, oh crap, that does make sense. I do need to kind of pipe down a little bit. But I ended up wiping my face off, and I had to go home and change my blood. My uniform was covered in blood. And then I went to another car with a grandma. And grandma wanted me to swipe for fingerprints because somebody broke in the house 15 hours ago. But I did. I treat everybody with respect and dignity, and I did. But that's just the instance how police work. I went from this crazy crime scene with blood and guts and all this stuff and all this trauma, and then trying to deal with grandma who's, her biggest issue right now is somebody broke in her house and stole some stuff. Anyway, I say that to say, I think the guy was already dead. We had to still do everything we can to save his life, but we began to set up crime scene tape and everything. Although he had gotten transported to the hospital, we knew he wasn't going to make it.
So I want to just say this, because I don't know how many people saw my episode with the Unsubscribed podcast, but what he was talking about, I think is very real, man. Like, police officers get a lot of shit, because they're always on body cam. So you're going to see these traffic stops where they pull somebody over and, the person is being just a straight up cow-cunted piece of shit to them. And then they react poorly. And then it's, you should be professional. What you don't understand is that sometimes these cats, man, they just came from a dead kid, bro. They just came from a domestic abuse situation where a dude almost killed a woman and he can't get her to press charges. And she's like, no, but I'm in love. I love him. That type of shit. They see horrific shit day after day after day after day. And then within 10 minutes, bro, they might be back right up and on to another one, man. And it might be just a simple traffic stop. And that's why I think it's important, if we want good policing, they need some type of support. They need more peer support, people who've actually been there, the same way that addicts do, the same way that sexual assault victims do, the same way that anybody who goes through traumatic shit does. Veterans need peer support from other veterans in a lot of situations. So, you know, I was saying all that, and I watched Donut start to tear up. Donut operator, really good dude, man. I have the most respect for Cody, the most respect for Rich. You know, there are a lot of good cops out there who just really wanted to help their community. I did a lot of damage to my community. You know what I'm saying? And now I try to help my community and fix my community in little ways with the things that I can do, whether that be, you know, distributing Narcan, whether that be helping people in addiction, you know, whether that be going into treatment centers, prisons, jails, whatever I can do to try to help my community heal from some of the damage that I caused. That's where my heart is at, bro. But I really liked what he said. I like that dude, man. I like Officer Tatum. I think he was pretty on point with that. I want to show you guys something. This is going to be completely off subject, so please forgive me. But I really want to show you guys this. This tripped me all the way out, bro. We're going to go to Oregon for a minute. Because this, I just cannot believe this. For the life of me, I cannot figure this out, bro. This is at the Oregon House of Representatives. They are doing this at the Oregon House of Representatives. Is anybody else confused? Because I was confused by this. So there are all these people that are in session, and our tax dollars are paying for this. And for those of you who don't know, Oregon, a very blue state, has incredibly high taxes, some seriously high taxes. So what it is they are doing a ceremony to recognize the historic relevance of African-American drag shows in Oregon's history. And they're doing this at the taxpayers' expense. Now, we have real life problems here in Oregon. The mental health, our mental health in Oregon, we rank 50th in the state. Our homeless problem, we rank in the top 5 worst in the country. We are the worst state in the country with mental health services. We have people that come from all around the country because we have Oregon healthcare plan, and they use our Oregon healthcare plan to the tune of billions of dollars. We spend $2 billion every year supplying healthcare to people who are not legal citizens. But this is what they're spending our money on. They're spending our money on this with a house full of people watching this. Bro, I'm just confused. I'm confused how this shit helps any Oregon resident, dog. These people are all elected officials, and I'm confused as shit what this does for any of us that are out here struggling to put our next meal on our fucking table for our kids, or what this does to keep people safe from all of the drugs and the crime that are happening in this state. I don't understand, bro. What the fuck is happening? Can anybody explain it to me? Because I absolutely am at a loss for fucking words. I don't want to live in this state. I do not like it here, but my family is here and I need to take care of my parents. So I'm stuck here, but I'm going to talk shit. I'm going to talk cash shit. And I had to see it. So unfortunately, I had to pass that on to y'all. I'm sorry, you guys. Blue-Eyed Devil, our veterans and police officers deserve better. I believe that wholeheartedly. Dominar said, sometimes I wonder whether the world is being run by smart people who are putting us on or by imbeciles who really mean it. Mark Twain, Bro, you've been coming with the fire Mark Twain quotes, bro. I love that. I can't call it. Quibbly said, the most insidious thing about all cops are bastards movement is how they villainized good people by claiming they are upholding an evil system. The ACAB chanters refuse to see individuals. Well, so here's the thing, is they have individuals within their ranks that do horrific shit. The whole ACAB, the Antifa, they're like, you can't judge us all by the ones that are pedophiles or the ones that are doing, horrific shit, but all cops. And it's crazy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You can't say all women are this or that, but all men. So it's a double standard. And I think people are seeing through it and they're getting tired of it. Rob Doherty ranked 50th in mental health because look not only at them, but the reps that paid them for that shit. No, that's exactly what I'm talking about. They got paid for that performance. All of those reps are sitting there on the clock on our fucking tax dollars. It's crazy as hell, bro. Intellectual iconoclasm. What's up, bro? Mid-90s, GSA one day, we were told to report conduct and discussions that are now curriculum below third grade, and it's intrinsically tied together. And we're normalizing shit that we used to recognize as being fucked up. And that's a perfect example, homie. DK, I'll never unsee that. Thanks, JD. I'm sorry. There's a lot more. I didn't play the whole thing. Backwoods Templar. What's up, JD? How's the temp in Oregon? It's hot here in Indiana, and these people are leaders of the Oregon, and I thought Kentucky's leaders were crazy. It's crazily. It was warm a couple days ago. Now it's super overcast. It's raining. It sucks. I don't want to leave the house at all. Not that was on the table at all. I wasn't going to leave the house anyway, but I'm definitely not leaving the house when it's like this. Dominar said the word politics is derived from the word poly, meaning many, and the word ticks, meaning blood-sucking parasites. Yes, I love that. Yeah, Irish Bomb Squad, it's mad wet here, bro. Mob True Crime said, JD and I are both Soft White Underbelly alumni. Yes! Hell yeah, bro. Was your experience with Mark Latia incredible? Mark was so cool to me, bro. I loved Mark. He was such a genuine dude. If you have substance abuse issues and need help, reach out. You have men who care about you. God bless. God bless you, brother. Hell yeah. Mob Stopper said this is theft. Wholeheartedly agree, bro. Wholeheartedly agree. Ryan Parsons, JD, how's lifting in the gym going for you? Good, my man. It's been a lot easier for me to get in there on a daily basis now that I have my gym in home. It's right next to the studio. So that helps a lot. Unfortunately, I don't have as much weight in there as I'm traditionally used to. The last gym membership that I had, we had all the way up to the 130s on the dumbbells. I've only got up to 95 pounds on my dumbbells. And I don't have as much room to be able to put in all the things that I'd like to. But I'm not trying to be the biggest dude on the planet anymore. I'm just trying to keep up with all my wife's hotness. She's just ridiculously hot, and I'm trying to polish a turd over here by staying fit, bro. So it is what it is. Angelo, can I ask what pre-workout you use? Honestly, bro, I haven't been doing a lot of pre-workout, and that might be why I'm lacking a little bit of inspiration, but the pre-workouts were giving me anxiety. And a lot of the time when I actually get to work out, it's later at night, and then the pre-workout will keep me up all night. So it's a little bit much, man. It's a little bit much. Mob True Crime. Ian, I was in the California system as 3 strikes law passed and now have 2 bachelor's degrees and run a construction firm. That is so lit, bro. Congratulations. What a stellar accomplishment, man. All right, you guys. Well, I love you. I'm going to jump off here. I just wanted to jump on and share a little of that with you guys because I was asked about it in last night's live. So I wanted to jump in and investigate it with you guys. I like investigating with you guys. A lot of the time, if I'm doing a full length, I'll do the whole, research it to death and then present it. If I'm doing a live, sometimes I like to just jump on and we learn together. And I get to get your guys' opinions about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I always learn as much from you guys as you guys could ever learn from me. So I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to be back real soon. And until the next one love, baby. Be good or be good at it.